What's going on, YouTube? We are back with another video. Guys, today, this subject I'm about to get into, this is some shit. So fair warning, trigger warning, this is going to be a little bit of a more controversial video. So, before we get into things, y'all already know what time it is. I just got off of work, and tonight we're drinking on the Bush Latte the tall way. Look, y'all know this is what I love. I ain't never gonna change. I ain't never gonna stop. So before we get into this fucking bullshit, let's take a swig. Cheers. Motherfucker. Goddamn. There we go. Cheers, y'all. There's nothing like a cold beer after work, motherfucker. Hold on. We're dipping on the Velo 9 milligram spearmint. I already had one in, but I've had it in for a while. A Velo usually takes me about 2 hours to actually run through the nicotine and the taste. I love them. They're so much better than cigarettes. I'm going to go ahead and pop a new one in just for the video. Cheers. All right. So, today, one more drink. Today, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein. That's right. Everybody's favorite pedophile, apparently. This video, I'm just going to kind of tell you guys a little bit of what I think about the situation and what I think is really going on. Everybody's got a bunch of conspiracy theories, man, and I've looked into the subject. And everyone knows who Jeffrey Epstein is, so I'm not going to pay him any respect and even talk about what he did, but I do want to talk about a little bit of like what I think is going on and who he actually is. So here's the thing. High level people have so much respect and so much pull in the game, no matter what they're high level in. It could be high level government sources, it can be businessmen. Anybody with power, any high level person has so much pull and so many things they can do, that it's kind of like obvious that those type of things that he was doing were obviously to corrupt people and to basically blackmail them, right? So, number one, I think it was a blackmail operation 100%. Now, what I mean by blackmail and what I think is going on, it's not just the whole money thing, right? Because obviously he was gifted a lot of money. He has a fucking private island, for Christ's sake. You don't just buy a private island doing construction work, or even if you're the president, I don't think any of them have fucking private islands. So that's serious money, like running a third world country. You are able to own an island. The money aspect is one thing. Another aspect is being able to push an agenda. Now, what the agenda is, or why they want to push it, why Jeffrey Epstein wanted to, like, basically corrupt these high level people. You could go a couple different ways with it. I really think it boils down to money. I think the whole name of the game is money. You know, money's it's a disgusting thing, but it's also a beautiful thing. You can buy all these luxuries and stuff. So ultimately, I think it was for money, but also power. A big part of it is power. Being able to control basically industries. I mean, if you blackmail somebody that's, let's just say, if you blackmail the president of fucking like Uganda, you have basically all the mineral rights and you can kind of play with those different ordeals and basically be in control of major industries like oil or diamonds or any other natural resources. Also, you have control of a lot of people indirectly. If you do corrupt a high level source and they are the running politician of any world power, you're basically in control of a country that has millions of people behind it. So whether or not you want to go through with baby killing a lot of them, right? Well, that's pretty easy to get someone in a war because you have corrupted their high level politicians. It's basically a coup. But not really mainstream. It's kind of in the gray area where no one would really know about it because the only people that know are the corrupted top elites. So that's one aspect of it, man. That he probably he had his fingers in everywhere. I mean, and that's not a joke. Like he had so much pull. He corrupted so many high level people. It's very difficult to actually come down to a conclusion as just a citizen, because at the other side of things, our military, well, our government, I shouldn't say military, but our government really doesn't give us the information. So that puts me into this. I think maybe, the guy, Jeffrey Epstein, could have been like something where um, these very, very important, wealthy, and powerful people have like well, it's the true Illuminati, essentially. It's this no name, no face people that run the world. And it's just crazy. Honestly, I think that is like the face of the Illuminati now is Jeffrey Epstein. I think we finally kind of get an eye into it and kind of see like how they do these dirty things, which is disgusting. And now you're seeing a lot of like high level officials resign. A lot of people kind of back down from their positions, which is good because these disgusting humans shouldn't be running things. And on the other side of things, man, that's probably why a lot of the disgusting shit around the world happens, like slave trading, human trafficking, wars. I wouldn't doubt one single bit that a lot of the things that happen not just like, oh, they bombed the towers. And I'm not going to bring up 9/11 because a lot of people died and it was a horrifying thing for a lot of people. But I wouldn't doubt that there were backdoor handshake deals and like people may have known about certain things. I'm not saying they knew about the Twin Towers before they hit. I'm not saying that. But it wouldn't surprise me if, high level people that had been corrupted did backdoor handshake deals and, terrible things happen. Wars start over it, hundreds of thousands of people die. And why they want to do that, I don't know. But another thing is, guys, with how rapid social media has taken over, it's very difficult for someone in my age group, which I'm 26. It's hard for a young adult to really understand that back in the day, even just 20 years ago, when we were growing up, when we were kids, these main outlet organizations, the CNNs, the ABCs, the NBCs, the CNBCs, these major news organizations really were able to almost like control the way that the populace got their information. There wasn't really any way to just like, we didn't have phones. Like they did not have just immediate access. And if they did, it was at the infant stages, and it just wasn't like it is now. So I think that's probably one reason why it's came to light in recent years, is just because information is so readily available now for everybody. And I've actually talked to some people, some older gentlemen, about Jeffrey, and the thing that they said to me was that, oh yeah, we knew that all of these high level people were dirty. I mean, it's just kind of something that you got that you deal with, and just kind of elaborating on that, it is insane that that's just kind of the way the world runs. And that's probably why the world is so dirty. I'm hopeful that maybe in the future, as like AI and quantum computing really gets to be like more mainstream, and maybe like portable nuclear, where there's like an abundant amount of energy for everybody in this world, that maybe it'll take some serious like wars to get through. But I'm hopeful that on the other side of things, that we can really come together as a species, as humans, and just be like, look, in reality, we're all ran by corrupted, dirty, horrible people. And, day to day life is tricky because, you go to work, you come home, you drink a beer. Cheers. You might go to the laundromat, get your clothes ironed, or go to Starbucks and get a donut. It's normal everyday life. But normal everyday life is tricky. And as soon as you welcome war, Um, it's just like no one needs to die, and that's what I'm gonna push always. I don't think that anyone should have to die, and I'm gonna take this out because what I'm about to say is gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna say it because it's how I feel. I don't think that Chinese or Russians or Japanese or Muslims, I don't think that they're inherently bad. I genuinely think that people have day to day lives, they exist in those lives, and I think that everyone has a pretty good moral stance. And maybe I'm wrong. I've never lived in Afghanistan. I've never lived in fucking China. I've never lived in Russia. I've only lived in America. But America is the melting pot of the world, and I can comfortably say that I actually assimilate better with cultures that are not mine. I love my Asians. I love my blacks. I love my Mexicans. I really don't get along much with my own culture, which is like mixed white, American white. I just don't really click with them. It's just a very pompous crowd, almost like we're better than others. And I really find that kind of outlook disgusting because nobody is better than any other person. It's racism essentially. So that being said, I really find it like interesting, and it's just like I am so hopeful that maybe one day, with how things change, that they'll change for the better, because it's possible. I really do think I think it's possible, and I don't think Chinese people are bad people. There's billions of people in China, and they all have everyday lives, just like us Americans. There's hundreds of millions in Russia, and they have everyday lives, just like we do in America. And just like here in America, they have extremist groups, they have terrorist acts done. And that's a group of bad people. There will always be bad people. I'm not saying that one day it'll be a utopia and everyone's good and everyone's holy. No, no, no. There are always going to be bad people, but maybe in the future, the major powers of the world won't be run by these bad people. And I really do feel like the people that are in power across the world, not unilaterally. I'm sure that there are good people with good standards that run major countries. Uh, but right now, I really don't see that in America. I really don't hear. I don't hear that Xi Jinping is a good guy. I don't hear that Putin's a good person. And it would really take like a couple of major world powers to lose their leaders all at the same time, and then new leaders get put in that have this understanding that out with the old, in with the new. I don't want to see my mom die. I don't want to die. I don't want to see my brother or my neighbor die. And we don't have to go to war. I mean, there are going to be terrorists. Take care of that as it is. We all have amazing militaries. And then you see fear mongering on the internet, like, oh, nuclear war with China and Putin's dropping the bomb. No, they're not, and neither are we, honestly. And if we did, it'd be an extreme miscalculation. Same with them. It'd be untold billion plus people are going to die. I don't think anyone wants that, man. I think the high up people really enjoy their big houses. Why do you think Jeffrey Epstein was given all of this expensive things? At the end of the day, it really is all about money. People want a high living standard. I don't knock it. You need to fucking have high living standard people, by the way. That gives us lower class people jobs. And, you know, I think people need to have a purpose in life. And these top people like Jeffrey Epstein have really made their purpose in life making the lower tier when it comes to like wage gaps. The lower earners, they've made their millions, their untold millions, off of making our lives more difficult and making us kind of butt heads with each other more and question each other's ethnicity and their religions and their beliefs, and it's disgusting. And I really hope that maybe that changes in the future. Maybe not the near future, but maybe one day. So that's about it. That's my feeling on all that. If you made it to the end of the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you're drinking on in the comments. I'll end this bitch with a chug, dude. Shit. You already know what time it is. Busch Light the Tall Way, the official sponsor of the working man. Peace.